Hi students, good morning, and let's start with this topic, or let's continue with the topic of nationalism in Europe. Now, n number of times you must have heard that nationalist leader, and I'm not talking about the European leaders, I'm talking about the leaders all across. They will keep on giving lectures on a particular topic in their loud speeches, but when it comes to reality, the ground check, they don't actually do it. And you would come to know, when we proceed with this lesson, that how this concept of nationalism actually emerged. Was it really successful? What happened post that? Okay. Now, so you know that European major countries were under this monarchical or the absolutists rule. Now the problem was that these revolutionaries now started propaganda that we are going to liberate the European nations, or we are going to liberate these particular nation states and make into their own separate identities or the nations. Revolutionaries' mission and destiny was for the part of French nations to liberate the people of Europe. So they have now taken a standing that we are going to, or we have the responsibility to liberate the people of Europe all across, so that these particular monarchical or the absolutist rule should end. As you know guys, when a particular revolution starts, it spreads very fast if the motto is right. And in this case, of course, the motto was right, and that's the reason why this so-called revolutionary movement actually spread all across the Europe, right? When a movement actually starts spreading, the younger students or the younger generation or the youth also starts joining in, and so is the educated class or the educated middle class. Now when I am talking about the word educated middle class, please understand, they normally cannot just leave their jobs and can shut down their small businesses and can directly go and join a revolution. But what they do is they wait and watch. They analyze that whether it's worthy to actually participate in this particular kind of revolution, is it going to bring us any benefit or something of that sort. And at the end, they started to form Jacobian clubs where they could analyze and start interpreting all these particular ideas. So joining of students and educated middle class was one of the major milestones in this French Revolution. Jacobian clubs were set up as a means of that. Now, activities and campaigns all across the European nations, or which are presently known as European nations or the European countries like Holland, Belgium, Switzerland, Italy, and they all started in 1790. Remember guys that it's technically the 1797 and the 1790s, from that particular era when these Napoleon armies actually started conquering in. So Napoleon introduced, now after they started conquering a lot of territories, Napoleon started Napoleon started a lot of reforms which he had done already back in Italy, right? So Napoleon ने बहुत सारे reforms करना चालू कर दिए all across these particular liberated nations. Now why am I using the word liberated nations? बिकॉज ये जो स्टेट्स थे वो पहले किसी मोनार्की या किसी रूलर के अंडर थे या किसी एक मोनोटोनस गवर्नमेंट के अंदर थे, एंड अब नेपोलियन ने इन सबको लिबरेट कर दिया था. सो नेपोलियन इंट्रोड्यूस्ड अ लॉट ऑफ रिफॉर्म्स टू बिकम पॉपुलर, एंड ऑफ कोर्स ही बिकेम ऑल्सो वेरी पॉपुलर बिकॉज हिज रिफॉर्म्स हैड अ लॉट ऑफ वेट्स. नाउ in a way, now over here is a very important point written, because you can understand now in which context I'll be talking about. One kind of monarchy ended and another kind of monarchy started. Sir, but reforms bhi to hue the. Absolutely right. That is actually your part to think about. Monarchy ended up because of course their armies swept across all the different cities in Europe, and of course they removed all those absolutist and the monarchical government. But who came to actually all the power? Napoleon. So did he set up a democratic kind of government? Not exactly. So see, in a way monarchy also ended and democracy was also destroyed. So this is a very important point for you to ponder, as in What did it bring? Let's see. System now became more rational and efficient because a lot of reforms were being introduced by Napoleon, and because of those particular reforms, Napoleon now became, Napoleon gained a lot of popularity. System became more rational and efficient. Then came the Napoleonic Code. Napoleonic Code, or the Civil Code of Conduct. Now, what is the Civil Code of 1804? According to this, a lot of reforms were introduced. For example, they removed the so-called privileges of the absolutist कि किंग का बेटा ही किंग होगा या उनको कोई VIP status मिलेगा and something of all that sort is. So they removed the privileges based on birth. आप केवल एक बड़ी फैमिली में पैदा हुए हो तो आपको ये प्रिविलेज मिला हुआ है, वो सारे के सारे नेपोलियन ने रिमूव कर दिया, which was a very good thing. So I never said that Napoleon, was a bad person, but what I'm saying is that the kind of motto, or the kind of dream, which you showed, or the kind of the vision which you showed to the public of Europe was actually not concreted. Why? He showed that these particular states are under this government and they needs to be liberalized. फिर आप ही की गवर्नमेंट होगी, आप ही के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव गवर्न करेंगे and so on and so forth. But did that actually happen? No, because Napoleon never ever gave any chance to somebody else to take over. Napoleonic Code was, so it removed privileges based on birth, established equality before the law, secured right to property. Law अब हर एक के लिए अवेलेबल था. जैसे पहले था कि यदि कोई वीवीआईपी और कोई मोनार्कियल यदि किसी ने कुछ गड़बड़ कुछ कर दिया तो उनको पनिशमेंट नहीं मिल रही थी. अब ऑफ कोर्स एवरीबडी वाज इक्वल इन फ्रंट ऑफ द लॉ. Right to property, very important part. Previously, those monarchy, or monarchical government, if they felt like that they need this particular property, they could have snatched that property from you. Right now, they couldn't. Abolish the feudal system. Of course, they abolished the feudal system. Those, the landless labor, and you already know, guys, because India was very famous for the part of feudal system. फ्रीड पीजेंट्स, जितने भी जो बॉन्डेड लेबर थे, पीजेंट्स थे, उन सबको फ्री कर दिया गया उनके डेथ से. फ्रॉम सर्वडम एंड मेनोरियल ड्यूज. सो जो भी आपके लेबर के या उन सब के जो भी कोई ड्यूज थे उन सबको माफ़ कर दिया गया, हटा दिया गया. ट्रांसपोर्ट एंड कम्युनिकेशन सिस्टम इम्प्रूव्ड. अंडर द नेपोलियन रेजीम, इफ़ यू सी दैट सर ये तो है ही बहुत पॉपुलर, अच्छा ही तो काम कर रहा है, देन वेयर एग्जैक्टली इज द प्रॉब्लम. प्रॉब्लम इज in defining this word that good deeds. For some people these were very good actions, but some of them said, the educated people, they started actually pointing out that you promised that the government representative would belong from our community as well, but there is no representative, and that's where the problem arises. Because then when people are pretty clever and pretty impatient in deciding that whether the previous government was good or this one was better or worst. Businessmen and small scale producers of course benefited a lot because n number of boundaries and tolls and whatnot, the taxes were actually removed. Some of them. Then there were the uniform laws all across these particular nations, so there is not going to be any change in Switzerland and Brussels and Italy and so on and so forth. So Napoleon का जिस जगह पर रूल था हर एक जगह पर यूनिफॉर्म लॉज को लाया गया. Standard weights and measures, very important term, guys. What do you mean by standard weights and measures? Standard weights and measures means that पहले का जो सिस्टम था उसके अंदर weights and measures standards नहीं थे. Standard means यहाँ पर कोई 1 kg चल रहा है, वहाँ पर कुछ 200 grams चल रहा है, वहाँ पर सेम चीज़ कुछ अलग रेट में बिक रही है, अलग क्वांटिटी में. Now under this Napoleon rule, everything was uniformized. Standard weights and measures were introduced. Common currency. So now there is no discrepancy कि आप यदि इधर से इस कंट्री से उस कंट्री जा रहे हो तो आपको उनकी भी करेंसी रखनी पड़ेगी, अपनी भी. And there was this concept of common currency all across, which was a very good deed. Exchange of goods and capital from one region to another now became much more easier because जब भी कभी कोई बिजनेसमैन बिजनेस करता है, of course in return उसको कैपिटल मिलेगा या मनी मिलता है. अब ये मनी कौन सी कंट्री का मिल रहा है, फिर वो वहाँ पे जाके कैसे एक्सचेंज करवाएगा. उस टाइम पे इंटरनेट तो था नहीं, तो हाउ कैन यू गो टू दिस फॉरेन एक्सचेंज सेंटर नहीं होते थे, कैसे आप एक्सचेंज कराओगे. एंड दैट वाज द प्रॉब्लम. सो जब यूनिफॉर्म करेंसी होगी सो नो प्रॉब्लम, पीपल कैन डील मच मोर इजीली. So you can understand there were a lot of reforms which was being introduced, and also a lot of rights were given to the people. A lot of freedom was also now given to the normal public, and people were enjoying this freedom because they never thought that they would be able to get this kind of freedom ever in their birth. But as I told you, not everybody likes the like of somebody else. So let's see. There were mixed reactions. In Holland, Switzerland, cities like Brussels, Mainz, Milan and Warsaw, कई जगह पर जब ये पूरा लिबरेशन हो रहा था, जब मोनार्की रूल एंड हो रहा था, so of course people just welcomed. They were all throwing those flowers, and they were welcoming these particular Napoleon armies like anything, the revolutionaries. But later on, when they saw that this kind of rule is no better than the previous rule, why? Because in certain regions there were increased taxation. टैक्स को बढ़ा दिया गया जो पहले नहीं था. अब बोलोगे सर लेकिन अभी तो उन्होंने बोला ना यूनिफॉर्म टैक्स कर दिया था. बट कभी कभी कई जगह ऐसी होती हैं जो मोनार्की रूल में किंग के बहुत लाइक करता होगा किंग, तो उस जगह पर उसने टैक्स नहीं रखा होगा, इन्होंने उस जगह पर टैक्स इंट्रोड्यूस किया. सो जो लोग उस जगह पर रहते थे वो सेड व्हाई शुड वी पे टैक्सेस, वी विल नॉट पे टैक्सेस, लाइक दैट. द एंथुसियाज्म टर्न टू हॉस्टिलिटी. नाइस पॉइंट. स्टार्टिंग में तो बड़ा एंथुसियाज्म था, ये वी वन एंड नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू चेंज दिस लैंड एंड नाउ अपनी ज़मीन होगी, ये होगा वो होगा. But soon this enthusiasm turned to hostility, and people now started hating these particular army men as soon as they saw them. Increased taxation, censorship, forced conscription to French armies. Now इन सारे के सारे जगह में धीरे धीरे क्या करना चालू कर दिया, नेपोलियन ने बोला कि कुछ कुछ लोगों को हमारी वाली आर्मीज़ के अंदर भी आना पड़ेगा. वाई? रिक्रूट होना पड़ेगा. इसलिए बिकॉज उनकी आर्मी के अंदर अब लोग कम पड़ते जा रहे थे और उनको बहुत सारी टेरिटरी कैप्चर करनी थी. नाउ दिस इज अ क्लासिक एग्जांपल ऑफ व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन द ग्रीड बिकम्स आउट ऑफ कंट्रोल. और किसी भी चीज़ की ग्रीड, फॉर एग्जांपल नेपोलियन को ग्रीड था फॉर पावर, राइट, टू एनेक्स टेरिटरीज. यू कांट से द वर्ड ग्रीड, बट ऑफ कोर्स ही वांटेड टू कैप्चर, बिकॉज उसको हर जगह लगता था कि जो रूल्स वो ला रहा है वो पब्लिक के लिए सही हैं. जैसे मैंने बोला, वो उसको लगता है कि वो सही हैं, बट कई लोगों के लिए वो सही हैं और कई लोगों के लिए नहीं है. इमेजिन करो कई जगह पर ज़्यादा टैक्स है और आपने उसे कम कर दिया गया. दोज पीपल वुड ऑलवेज वोट फॉर यू. दे विल से वाओ दिस इज सच अ फैंटास्टिक पर्सन, ही हैज़ लिबरेटेड अस फ्रॉम दिस labor and the huge amount of money which we needed to pay, or every month which it used to outgo. But now think about it, what has happened? Now another monarchical ruler kind of has come who has given a lot of reforms, but still you can never ever be elected as the president or the prime minister or the government, or you cannot say anything at all, because they have already given their own law which was known as Napoleonic Code or the Rebel Code of 1804. So people once again turned or became hostile towards the ideas of Napoleon. And then came the year 1821, which is being termed as the most important era. Why? Because that was a symbol for the fall of Napoleon Bonaparte, right? So this would be from my side for today, for you, for this chapter, that is nationalism in Europe. We are going to continue with the same topic tomorrow, and the next lecture also coming up. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy. Cheers. Love your parents always, guys. Bye.